Good evening and welcome to DXB Today. Tonight we will be giving you our usual dose of entertainment, and we have some lessons of what it takes from some big names in the world of entrepreneurship. So please stick with us and let's see what else is happening in tonight's show.
We check out the Tree of Light initiative, showcasing the largest solar power light bulb display using 3,000 solar lanterns in the shape of a guff tree.
And I went down to the exclusive world premiere of the upcoming film Bad Boys Ride or Die at the Coca-Cola Arena to catch up with some very special celebrities and bad boys themselves.
Plus, we've got a fantastic performance a little bit later on by Flor Macy coming up a little bit later. Guys, we have a lot of important people coming on the show, investors and business moguls and generational wealth galore.
So what are you going to pitch?
I don't know. What about you? You have your own business lane, so I see you pitching for Papa Bertie's.
I've got a few things going on at the moment, but no, I think it's all about that generational wealth, which I'm really touches my heart. You know, it's something that my book is something that I really want to push and promote a little bit more. So I think that would be the route I would go down, because it is about generations and building that wealth.
So Lade is the king of pitchers. I don't know why he's pretending like he's not going to pitch like 17 ideas. I've not seen anyone else on this show pitch themselves.
You know, if you could start a business,
if I could start a business, whoo, you know, I really wanted to, because I often customize my own shirts and hats. I feel like I would do a line of that, like nothing too fashion or stylish, just like I feel like I have a lot of statements that I like to make to the world, and I would sell that. I just don't see it being very profitable. I've tried to calculate the numbers in my limited knowledge and expertise, and they've not done so well.
I like how you led with it's not going to be super stylish or fashionable. I mean, who wouldn't want to invest in that?
No, I just mean it was more about making a statement than it was about like looking really cool. It was more like, you know, walking with a
current times.
No.
Well, look,
with a cause.
It takes costs, it takes marketing, it takes passion. And a lot of different energy.
And I have like one of those.
You've got some of them. You have got some of those elements. But I mean, this is why we have some experts on the show, right?
Listen, let's just hope you two are better prepared with your elevator speech. Okay, all right, okay. So in just a little bit. But so let's find out who our guest co-host tonight is.
Hi, I'm Tej Lalvani, CEO of Vitabiotics, UK's largest vitamin company. I'm also a former dragon and investor on the show. Can't wait to see you later.
Tej will join us right here in just a little bit. But first, we went down to witness a Guinness World Record set by Alphatane Group for the largest solar power light bulb display. This is the Tree of Light initiative. Take a look.
The Alphatane Group is one of the UAE's largest business conglomerates, and we understand that we have a responsibility to inspire the various business divisions to sustainable action.
Because we wanted to teach thousands of young people that they can make a difference. A small bit made by each one can result in big changes. And today we're here because we've broken the world record, not because of me, but because of thousands of young people.
And over a period of 3 weeks, the students worked hard to put these solar lanterns together, and for us then to bring those out here on display tonight. Now that the Guinness World Record has been achieved, Alphatane Group has donated all 3,000 of these solar lanterns to remote villages in the Philippines, more specifically to Agusan Marsh in the Philippines. And you have to take a look at this. I mean, at the top part of the lantern is a recycled water bottle that comes from a hotel. And this blue part in the base is actually, everyone will recognize the blue color from the bottle top, and that's been compressed in order to make this part of the lantern.
Each solar light replaces a kerosene lamp. A kerosene lamp uses kerosene that is not only toxic, a fire hazard, but also emits 200 kilos of carbon every year. For 5 years, this will replace this with 0 carbon emissions. Therefore, we're taking away 1,000 kilos of carbon from the atmosphere. Can you imagine what 3,000 lights will do to a village, not only saving them money, but reducing toxic emissions and at the same time reducing carbon?
And there we go, the UAE with another record. I remember who is, it makes me think, who has got the most records for the most Guinness records? I'm sure the UAE is going to be up there somewhere, somehow. But now that goes on to our next co-host for today, who has many records as well. He is the CEO of the UK's largest vitamin company, helping to improve the quality of lives through his commitment to providing nutritional healthcare and improving modern consumer lifestyles. Please welcome to DXB today, a huge pleasure, Tej Lalvani. Tej, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure. Now, a lot of people at home are going to be thinking like, hold on, wasn't he in, like, you know what I mean? So, and what's even more serendipitous is that Shark Tank is filming across the road in the other studio. Yeah, which is bizarre. But before we get into all of that, I want to take it back to the beginning. And it was kind of inevitable that you were going to go into the family business. But was there at any point where you were thinking, I want to be and do something different, an astronaut or a race car driver or something like that? Was there any point?
Exactly that. Well, no, as a kid, you obviously want to be everything, a pilot, as you say, a racing car driver or whatever it is. But I was fortunate to grow up in a family of entrepreneurs. So my uncles and aunts, set up their businesses. So for me, it seemed a natural progression. And as a kid, I always liked entrepreneurial spirit and, sell computer games to my friends in school, things like that. So I was always had that mindset. And of course, my father set up the business in 1971. So in nutrition and supplements. And for me, I was passionate about improving people's lives. So as a kid, I'd go to the table and take a couple of different medicines and put them together. Thank God no one tried it, because I don't know what would have happened. But that's how it sort of started.
Would you say, I have two questions for you, that coming from an entrepreneurial family, it kind of instills that sort of bone or that zest in you from a younger age? And do you see one of your children eventually running some of your companies?
I think it does. It sort of builds resilience, right? So the good thing about being in a family business is that you can make decisions very quickly. You don't have to go through a whole system, but I guess the downside is you'll never stop talking about business, because on the weekends at dinner, etc., it's all about business. But in terms of my kids, they do have interest in the business, which is great, my daughter, and it's important they do what they're passionate about ultimately. And so I followed in the footsteps of my father, and I was really excited about building the business and growing it. And if they're still very young, that would be great,
Do you still get involved in the R&D when it comes to like the compounds and mixing things together and all that sort of stuff?
So in terms of, so I had a choice. I was very closely going to do medicine and I ended up doing business because my father and brother are both doctors. But when it comes to idea generation and looking at concepts of vitamins, so I'll think about what particular area needs innovation or, could do with a product, a niche product. And then we'll have a team of people that develop the formulations around it.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you come from a family of entrepreneurs. So what happens when you personally need some advice? Do you take their advice, or do you separate the family from business?
Yeah, it's a hard one really. And, I think every family is quite different how it operates. But by and large, you do take advice. And of course, me and my father worked together for so many years growing up. So you do bounce ideas off each other, you take advice. Ultimately you have to make your decisions yourself, but generally I'm someone who does like to listen to other people's opinions, see what they think, and then move forward with an idea.
Okay.
Now, we've got to ask the question, Tej. I mean, a lot of people are asking, a lot of people are looking, the tigers, the sharks, the dragons.
Exactly,
Dragons Den, man, how did that come about? How was your time on the show? Are you still involved in some of those investments that you made on some of those?
It was a great experience. I did it for about 5 years, and I've always wanted to work with entrepreneurs and help them and grow businesses and different businesses as well. But of course, coming on the show, my experience was consumer goods and vitamins. But going on there, it's about learning about different industries and different entrepreneurs. So I really found that interesting, and as a result, invested in various businesses. Some of those businesses are still here today, and in fact, because they're early stage businesses, it takes a while to exit them, 3 to 5 years, and there have been some really great exits. Some of them I'm still working with and growing the businesses, so it's really exciting. And of course, outside the den, I make investments too as well. But but they're a great bunch of people, and it was a fun show.
That was a question I had actually. Do you get a lot of people coming up to you, friends, family, and trying to pitch all the time?
Lane's about to pitch. You know, you're missing.
He's just working his way up
true.
to that.
Bettering you up.
Do you know, I had a
Laying the
friend.
groundwork.
I had a friend who was on the show this year, and he got 3 dragons, and he bagged 2.
Well, look, I've been pitched in the strangest places, but you do get that, and it's nice. And what's interesting is a lot of teenagers, you know, are interested in the show, and they want to learn about being an entrepreneur. And so that's great. It shows that people want to work for themselves. They've got ideas, and what it shows people is that when you have an idea, you can take it from an idea to an actual business. And how do you do that? So it's great. Young people are interested in it, and today being an entrepreneur is really exciting, and everyone wants to embrace it.
My question to you is a little bit more quirky, Tej, if I may. What would you say is one of the craziest or wackiest business idea that has been pitched to you?
You do get some crazy ones. And what's interesting is you have no idea what's coming on the show.
Yeah.
So, you know, you find out on the moment. So there was this guy who came on with this alarm product, which basically woke you up at night, but didn't wake your partner up at the same time.
Oh.
So that's a great idea. Turned out to be this bracelet that literally gave you a shock in the morning, right? So, and I thought, okay, maybe a little buzz, but literally you jumped up, and I'm sure your partner would wake up in any case, but there's probably a health and safety issue with that. So it definitely didn't get investment, that's for sure. I'm surprised it got on the show, but you do get people with all sorts of ideas out there. But I think the one skill that you learn is people, because you're on there and you have to learn whether you can work with an entrepreneur, whether they're going to have, you know, the resources, whether they're going to have integrity, whether they're going to listen and be mentorable. And so you're asking all these questions and trying to analyze them in that short span of time. And you sort of develop skills of people to, it's not good to judge people, but you have to sort of judge people because you're going to invest in them.
Now, speaking of personal development, looking back at your own journey and growth, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned, especially through Vitabiotics?
Well, I think as a business, you know, I want to try and get the product into as many hands as people. And what we do is products in different categories, whether it's pregnancy for pregnant care, or Wellman for Wellman for men's health, Wellwoman for women's health. And so I think the potential is improving people's lives without having the side effects that do that. And so I get letters that come in all the time from people how it's changed their lives.
Oh.
And in fact, until like a few years ago, I was copied on every single email that came into the company to get feedback. And I used to go through a lot because it gives you an understanding and sort of close to the ground. But I think as a person, for me, it's about growing every single day, learning more all the time, and being able to use your skill set.
Right, Tej, thank you for sticking with us in our little den. We have lots more to learn from you, so we will come back to you in just a bit. Coming up, we are meeting a third-generation entrepreneur leading a 48-year-old organization through innovation-driven expansion, so don't go anywhere.